afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the EVES auction room here this afternoon on behalf of our team who they really do live up to our motto there being exceptional every day, and it's an absolute pleasure as the auctioneer. My name is Grant Child. My role is to facilitate proceedings, and it is a pleasure to represent our salespeople after the hard work that they've done. I'm going to be offering the first 7 properties to you this afternoon, folks, and then I'll hand over to my good friend, colleague, fellow auctioneer, Jordan Silbright. Now, we've got a great team that works with us here today. I've got Robin, she's looking after all the technology here, and of course I've got Craig, Jill, Trevor and Gordon. They are experienced managers, part of our organisation. They are here today to assist you, because if your bids don't take us to or beyond the vendor's reserve prices, the auctioneers, we're limited to what we can do. We need to be at the reserve price or beyond it before we can sell to you here in the auction room. But if we pull up short, we'll simply pause the auction and one of the team will step in. We'll keep negotiations going, give you that opportunity to continue discussions with our sellers. If you reach agreement, it will come back. The auction will then be resumed, confirming any amendments and instructions to either sell the property to the highest bidder or indeed to close the auction. Now, if we do close the auction, folks, be very clear. Anybody can come forward with an offer afterwards. That does include what we call conditional buyers. We do have some of them expressing interest in the properties, and we'll disclose which properties we've got those conditional buyers registered for as we work our way through, so you know exactly what's going on in the position with each individual property. So at this juncture, folks, I'll take you to the documentation, the Buyers and Sellers Guide. Well, that's been around for a long time. In fact, 2008 it started. They've been distributed throughout the open homes. The agents have got them all in the glove box of their cars, and your glove boxes are probably full of them as well. We are legally bound to give you one of those documents, and of course they are available in the stand just outside of the auction room as well. Now, also in that stand, folks, finalised copies of the contract of sale. They've been circulated in draft form, as you see there on the screen. So by way of any bidding, we're going to assume that you've read, understood, accept that contract that we work to. Remind you that you bid on a cash, unconditional basis, as is standard in all auctions, and that you are deemed to have accepted the vendor's title without any rights of requisition. On the front page in this portion here, folks, is set out what we call the conduct of auction. That's what we put up there in blue for you. Don't expect you to read that as well. We assume that you have read and understood that as well, but we just remind you of a couple of important points. The first one is, should the hammer fall in your favour, folks, then your obligations immediately on the fall of the hammer is to, of course, give us your autograph on the contract, sealing the deal, and of course paying your deposit. We only ask for 10% of the purchase price here today. Of course, that is the deposit, as I just said. 7 of that calls for the balance of the transaction, and of course that's done through your respective solicitors. So a pretty straightforward process, and of course that deposit is you need 10% unless you've made alternative arrangements with the sellers prior to the auction. So pretty straightforward process, folks. I just want to touch very quickly on what we call vendor bidding. Under clause 2.5 of the contract, as the auctioneers, we are authorised to submit vendor bids. When our vendors have signed our reserve form, they've also authorised and confirmed in writing that we are the only ones that are authorised to submit a bid on behalf of the vendors. We will disclose any vendor bids to you, and we only utilise that if we've only got one person that's participating in the auction. Obviously, we will only use it if we're too far away from the seller's instructions. Once we get to a point where the sellers are happy to continue negotiations with you, then we'll pause the auction and that process will continue from there. So what you can actually take, folks, is if we are utilising a vendor bid, then our vendors are saying to you through us, thanks but no thanks, you will need to be above that. It is simply a technique that we use to help you get to that negotiating platform and see if we can't help you secure the property here today. So I'll be happy to answer any questions at this junction before we move on to our first property, and of course the opportunity is also now for me to welcome our viewers watching via the live stream. When I say that, folks, there's a camera up there in the ceiling. It's only on the auctioneer and the screen there, but it is for the benefit of our people that are unable to attend the auctions here today. And of course, we welcome those viewers. Certainly the camera's not on you folks, it's only on us. No questions? Excellent. So we move on to our first property for the afternoon, 87C Greerton Road. Owen Phelps Kristin Graf-Cate from our Gate Car office have been presenting this property. Now, a slight variation to that preamble that I just went through on this one, folks. there will be no vendor bidding on this one, this property. And the reason for that is the owners are in contract. The auction has been brought forward to give everybody equal opportunity to purchase the property. I will disclose to you the level of that pre-auction contract. Robin will put it up on the screen there. We will then invite any bids over that level. Now, when it goes up on the screen, you will see up there opening bid. That's where Robin will put that figure up there just to disclose it to you. It is not a bid at that level. We will invite any bids over that level and give you the opportunity to purchase the property. So 87C Greerton Road, Owen Kristin, I think fair to say that this is a solid home in a very, very convenient location. When we look at the legal aspects of it, folks, it is a cross-lease freehold. Record of title SA 63B folio 286 confirms all the legal aspects of it. And 20 working days from today's date is our settlement date. And any changes to the channels list that you've had circulated? No, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So you've got absolutely superb, comfortable living as it is with this property here, folks. But of course, you've got that scope going forward to give it a bit of a, using Owen's words and the information he sent through to me, giving it a bit of a jus shop if it's so inclined. So, but it is very, very comfortable. The opportunity to just enjoy it as it is and maybe think about what you might want to do with it in the future, or just sit back and relax and enjoy it. The northerly aspect, well, that assures bright light interior living spots for you to sit back and relax and enjoy throughout the day. Evidenced as you see there on the screen. They link easily with the compact, but very cool, fully fenced outdoor living facilities as well. So it really does cater for that indoor, outdoor living quite simply. The double garage, well, that's complemented by the great off-street parking. Again, evidenced as you see there on the screen. If you are investors, folks, then you can expect somewhere in the vicinity of around about $600 a week. That was a rental appraisal that was done on the property, so you can expect that sort of return on your investment. You get the calculators out, folks, but you need to be quick because the owners are in contract. Their contract was signed at $710,000. $710,000, disclosure of the pre-auction contract on the screen there, inviting any bids over that level. If you're in that position of cash, you now need to disclose it to me right now, along with the denomination that you'd like to go at. Could I suggest a $5,000 rise? Make it $715 to play for. You'll play for the keys. First call now. But even take a single on top if you're wanting this one, folks, but your opportunity is running out. Second call for any advance on $710,000. Third final opportunity. Owen Kristin, given the fact that I have no further bidding now, it gives me great pleasure to declare the property sold for $710,000. Sitting outside up the back of the room here. Congratulations, folks. Of course, congratulations to us. It's always interesting here, standing up the front as the auctioneer folks on the first call of the day when the hammer comes down. It's usually people that take a little bit of time to go to the place because they've got to come back down off the seats after getting such a fright. They jump when the hammer comes down. So let's move along now, folks. 19B Riley Avenue, Daniel Dickinson from our Mount office has been presenting this property. Another one, folks, if you're looking for good opportunities for off-street parking or room to park the camper van or the boat, then it's evidenced there. A little bit sort of closed in on the screen there. It's a lot, it doesn't really depict just how much off-street parking there is. But you can see the boat on the left-hand side there, so plenty of space there. And of course that adds to the fact that it is a sturdy brick and tile property as well, so we've got really good bones. The legal aspects of it, record of title SA 43A folio 523, confirmed the property as a cross-lease freehold, and 20 working days, Daniel, is our settlement dates. Any changes to the channels list at all? No changes there. Just a quick reminder, folks, that Clause 23 of the contract just discloses that the vendors are acting as executors of the trustees of an estate. Therefore, Clause 24, general conditions 9.35, 9.36 are deleted. Clause 25 just stipulates 9.31 is varied to the extent that the vendor makes no warranties. Obviously, need an occupation of the property, and it carries on to 26, 27. That's pretty standard. Clause 28, the purchaser shall accept the property in its actual state of condition as at today's date without any requisitions, and you are sure that the property is fit for purpose for your purposes. So Any other changes there, Daniel? No changes. Those are all standard disclosures when executives acting on behalf of estates. So the private and peaceful aspect of the property, folks, it's got that sunny northwesterly aspect as well towards the neighbouring reserve. So if you need that extra space, then almost your neighbours are a big wide open space for the kids to fly a kite. You've got the original interior waiting for a new owner to make their own mark on the property as well, so good scope there and potential for you to not only make some transitions to suit your own desires, but certainly to add value in the future. It's nice and handy proximity to Bayfair, Waitakere Reserve, and of course the beach is a great attraction for this neighbourhood. And if you go just around the corner, you can tell that it's a quality neighbourhood, folks, because Jill, the manager of our Mount office that lives not too far away, walks past the property every morning with the dog. So when a real estate agent or a real estate manager lives in the area, you know it's a good location. So, that proximity to the beach, well, I would suggest that deserves a good start to the auction. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Where would you like to start the auction away now? 19B Riley Avenue. Looking for an opening bid. You set the benchmark, I'll guide you from there. No money on the floors, folks. We had the cleaners through first thing this morning. There's no money down here. I think standing up here, everybody call for an opening bid. Everybody goes to do. I'm an auctioneer, I'm not a priest. You don't have to pray in the auction room, folks. Looking for an opening bid now. First call. Second time for you to set the benchmark. Third, last chance for an opening bids. Obviously no cash today for this one. I'm going to close the auction. Daniel, how much do we need? What sort of line now? We're talking about how long we do.
Yeah, 830,000 will get you the keys.
Beautiful, beautiful. I would suggest that you, $830,000, that property is now priced. I would suggest that you make sure your fuel tank is full, because I think once that debt price gets out here in the marketplace, you're going to be inundated with inquiry on that property. $830,000 buys 19B Riley Avenue. Talk to Daniel Dixon from our Mount office. We'll help you from there. Okay, pressing on, number 3 on our catalogue for today, folks, number 17, Old Waitakere Road. Fran Harmon from our Patmara office definitely doesn't need any introduction. Now, there's no need to wait for the interest rates to rise while you build, because you've got the opportunity to buy this brand new build, and it was built by reputable platinum homes. So you've got quality that oozes throughout as well. The legal aspects, folks, it's a freehold property, 409 square metres of land, more or less, all described in record of title 1004367. Now, 10 working days from today's date, Fran, is our settlement date, with flexibility around that. If you need an alternative, then just talk to Fran. I'm sure she'll arrange something for you. Channels list, any changes there? So quite a bit more in terms of the channels in this property, which is a little unusual for a new build. So you've got the beachy vibes, you've got the crisp white interior. You will have all recognised that when you went and viewed the property as well. Absolutely superb. You've got that additional study nook that is an added bonus. You've got the quality window dressings. Now that's what I'm referring to, is quite often in a new build there are no window dressings, but they are all here and they are good quality as well. You've got the dual living space as well. That ensures functional spread space to spread out and spread the family out as well. Now, Christmas is coming, folks, but you don't need to wait for 17 Old Road to be ready for you for Christmas. It's ready for you right now. So we do have a buyer that has conducted a third viewing on the property and considering the property, so I put it to you now for cash interest. Otherwise, I simply close the auction and hand it back to Fran to keep working with our conditional buyer. Third viewing, there's a pretty clear indication of interest. First call now for cash. Second time. Third final opportunity for this great opportunity for a brand new build by a reputable building company. Obviously no cash today, Fran, so close the auction. Those buyers that you've been working with, I'm sure they'll be happy to hear from you, letting them know that the property is still available, and I'll be very happy to hear from you, telling me that you've got this property under contract.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. Right, 88 Heath Street is the next one, another Mount Maunganui property, Neil McIntosh. We're going to have about 15 office, get backwards and forwards over the bridge, presenting this property. Now, this one here, folks, location is the key. You can walk to Central Parade, you can walk to the Mount Beach, and you can walk to the very popular Mount RSA as well. So you really have got everything nice and central for you here. I guess that's why they call it Central Parade here. I think that's correct.
Pretty smart over there.
When I was born, my mother had no idea she had born a rocket scientist. I'd have to be to figure that out, wouldn't I? Anyway, let's look at the legal aspects for Heath Street, folks. It's a freehold property, 145 square metres of land, more or less is what you got. And record of title 481739 is the record of title number that confirms it all. 145 square metres there. You wouldn't need any more than that in a location like this, because there's so much fun stuff to do around you from this location. 15th of December, be in for Christmas. Any changes to the channel size? No, so we're all good to go. So the light ride open plan configuration there, folks, it's wheelchair friendly for you as well if that's what you need for family members. No body call. Now there's an extra advantage. No body call. So makes it a great bolt hole as well. Renters, if you're looking for an investment property, you can expect between $530 and $560 a week, a return on the investment. The kitchen, well, that's fully functional as it is, but would benefit from an upgrade if you so needed to. And to create your own desires and have a kitchen created to your own catering standards. Perfect scenario here for you to ponder your options first and then maximise your opportunity going forward. Now, the property itself refreshed in the last couple of years there, and backs onto and across the road from the rest home, so no noisy parties, excellent neighbours, nice and quiet. Back to you, buyers. Where would you like to say go for this one? Talking almost more Central Mount. We'd like to start this one away. Looking for an opening bid now? First call now for a start. Looking here for the cash interest. That's all I'm here for as the auctioneer. Our role is to work with cash. Conditional buyers, well, salespeople deal with that afterwards. Second call. Last chance in or outs. I've got no cash for this one today. Neil, I'm not concerned about that. It's quite standard at the moment. People still getting their ducks in a line, closing the auction. How much do we need, mate?
Well, Grant, we're taking it to the market well below GV at $775.
$775,000. And we're talking about Central Parade. There you go, buyers. I can tell you now that won't be long and there will be a sold sticker going right across the middle of that signboard there, because that is not going to last at all at $775,000. Neil, I think you also better make sure that your fuel tank's full, because I think you're going to be busy once that price gets out there in the marketplace. Great buying, clear indication of our vendors' eagerness to work with the current market today. $775, buyers. All right, 19 Linklater Avenue, we come back across this side of the bridge here out to the Cherrywood location, where we offer you a single level brick home in a private quiet location, and located right at the end of a nice quiet cul-de-sac. Now, Crystal Harley from our Cherrywood office has been marketing this property, and I think, Crystal, fair to say one of the key ingredients of this is the nice flat site that it's sitting on, and of course a fantastic neighbourhood.
Yeah, it's a great group of people live there.
You heard me say earlier, folks, when you live in a location where there's a real estate agent or a real estate manager, it's a good location. And this one here, your auctioneer lives in this location. It's just around the corner. So now that speaks volumes for itself. It's taken me a long time to get there and I'm not moving. So as you go past number 6 Western Road, just give me a wave. If you're really good today, I'll shout you a beer. Right, the legal aspects of it. Freehold estate, 688 square metres of flat site is what's on offer here. All described in record of title, say 14C, folio 932, 10 working days. Crystal, still our settlement date, for the flexibility around that if you need an alternative channels list. No changes there, so all as circulated. You'll remember the open plan configuration. That really does facilitate good family living. It's certainly well presented as it is, with plenty of potential to add your personal touches and add value going forward as well. It'll be hard to over-capitalise in this particular location as well. But I think one of the biggest features is the great outdoor facilities of this property. Look at that, nice and private out the back there. That's a shot on the northerly aspect of the home there. Plenty of room for the kids to play in the fully fenced out area out the back there. It's just superb indeed. Now the location, well, it pretty much speaks for itself. You've got the Cherrywood shops just around the corner there. Walk past the Cherrywood shops, over down the hill, and you're right on the waterfront. Cornwall Park one direction, Memorial Park in the other. Very, very pleasant walking along the waterfront for an evening stroll or a morning walk. So good property for families due to the proximity of quality schooling around you as well. Parks, and as I mentioned, the water edge really does seal the deal. And as I mentioned, the Cherrywood shops just around the corner. So I would suggest a property of this calibre, folks, would be worthy of a start on the northern side of $1 million, but I'm going to leave it up to you. As long as it's on the northern side of $1 million, I'm happy to take a start. Give you that opportunity. We're here to work with the cash interest only, as I mentioned before. Cash sales only in any auction room right throughout the country, folks. Conditional buyers, well, they'll be lining up for this one afterwards. First call for cash. You set the benchmark. As long as it's on the northern side of that $1 million, I'm happy to work with you. Second time, last chance. Auction's closed. I know you've got some people that have been expressing some interest in property crystal, so I'm going to leave you to carry on with working with those people. And yep, I drive past it every time I go home, so I'm going to look forward to seeing that sold sticker up too. Alright, number 12B, Tay Street is the next one, folks. Danielle Hayes has been marketing this property. Of course, Danielle works out of a Mount Maunganui office. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I got the notification that 12B Tay Street had come to the market and was to be auctioned today, I got very, very excited. You witnessed that from the email that I sent you too, didn't I?
I did.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, because you can tell just by the main photograph of the property that it is absolute quality indeed. A property that's pushing the envelope and making a striking statement in Tay Street. This JMAC architecture design residence is simply described as boldly dynamic. Now we look at the legal aspects of the property. Record of title 673563 confirms the property is a freehold estate, the best class of ownership you can buy in New Zealand, and with it comes 325 square metres of land, more or less. And in this location, folks, you wouldn't want any more of that because there are so many fun things to do, nice and handy from home. 24th of February 2023 is our settlement date. Danny, a little bit of flexibility around that if we need an alternative date. I mean, a very comprehensive chattels list, almost ran off the screen there. Any additions, deletions to that? Certainly a chattels list that is well deserved with a property of this calibre in this location. From the first impression, the standout copper sheath cantilevered balcony simply asserts itself, and when you're sitting out there and enjoying it, look at what you see there, beautifully streamlined, right up there. The sheltered airspace boasts that uninterrupted eyefall of the famous Mount Maunganui in the distance there. Now, discerning homeowners of good taste easily recognise superior quality, and that's exactly what you get at number 12B Tay Street. Food preparation enables easy interaction with guests from the refined yet minimalist kitchen as well, so it really is superb for entertaining. A tentatively landscaped, perfectly positioned for convenience in this particular location. This home is perfectly shaped for your future. Whose future is it going to be that is going to get shaped at 12B Tay Street? That's entirely over to you. Where would you like to start the auction away for this one? In case you didn't quite understand what I was meaning, I'm looking for an opening too. Where would you like to start me away? Maybe you suggest a figure, folks, but my figure might be different to yours. Who gets us underway?
1.4.
Pardon, sir?
1.4.
1.4. Okay, well, I'll take the start, folks. I'm not into turning bids down, but immediately we go straight to 1.5 on behalf of the seller, sir. Can I come back to you for 1.6? Well, away from where we need to be at this point in time. Bid all bit at 1.5, chasing down 1.6 on the nod there, 1.7. Who goes there now? At 1.5 it is over here, first call, second time, not dilly-dallying at this level. More than happy to go 1.6 on behalf of the seller there, sir. 1.7 can I say for you? 1.6 it is now, bid all bit at this point in time. 1.7 shall I say for you? Let's go there quickly now, well away from where we need to be at this point in time. 7 it is. At 1.7 we say now. Making it 1.8, won't take anything less at this juncture. At 1.8, do we go there now, folks? First time, second, third, last opportunity. Not even slightly confused at this point in time, sir. Then a little bit at 1.8 hit from here. At 1.8, happy to take a 50 from you if it's going to facilitate you, but I'm more than happy to take a 1.9 as well. I'm sure you recognise the value in it as well. It's definitely there in a property in this location. 1.8 it is now. Vendor bid be clear at this juncture. 1.9 can we say for you there, sir? Say 1.9 for you, sir. What about 50? Happy to take 50 to help you. Suggest you look over your right shoulder, sir. The lady's talking to you.
I don't know if I want to listen.
Just a little bit out of the issue. I kind of read that, but I needed to make a suggestion. I'm here to try and help you buy the property today, sir.
50.
50? 185 $1,850,000 is over here on the left-hand side now at 1,850. $1,850,000. Happy to take another 50 on top. Take 109 here, folks, at $1,850,000. First call now at 1,850. Second time. Third, last opportunity for you to join us now, folks, if you're in that position of cash. It's been a hard slog to get to this level, Jill, but I'm going to pause the option. I'm going to leave it with the gentleman over here at $1,850,000. Can you see if you can help him, please? Sure. Alright, moving on to the last property that I had the pleasure of offering you this afternoon before I hand over to my good friend and colleague Sean Silverbright, 87 Old Waitakere Road here. Steve Cameron has been marketing this property here, nestled at the base of the Coromandel Ranges in that wonderful wooden glade with babbling brook winding through those manicured lawns and trees. This property will simply, wow, wonderful when you become the purchaser here today. But before that happens, you've got to become the purchaser. There are plenty of people who've had through the property and lots of inquiry that they've been wowed on this one here, folks. It is legally described as a freehold estate. 3,143 square metres of land is what's on offer, all described in Record of Title SA 47B, folio 517. Now, of course, you've got the Waihi Mine clause in the contract that comes as standard in this location, so I don't need to go through that. In addition to that, you've also got clause 24, where the purchasers make a number of acknowledgements, namely being you should carry out a comprehensive due diligence investigation on the property, including all legal and title issues, resource management, code compliance and LIM, building inspection report and valuation advice, reviewing all leases of the property and the suitable of the property for your intended use. And at the request of the vendor solicitor, we've also inserted in there 24.2, prior to signing the contract today, the vendor has provided a disclosure statement dated 9th of November 2022 in relation to the garage conversion and the second story within the roof space. So full disclosure, folks, that contract has been in there throughout the marketing. No other changes there? No? Channels list? Settlement date, 90 working days from today's date. So there you go, folks. A wander through the grounds represents a beautiful home blending absolutely perfectly into the setting. Now, you've also got that separate studio adjacent to the double carport that provides you with lots and lots of options as well. And a home that will inspire anyone who sets foot on its grounds. Now, it might sound as though I'm really talking the property up, folks, but it's one that absolutely deserves it, doesn't it, Steve? Steve Cameron from our Waihi office has had the pleasure of marketing this property, and I think fair to say Steve described it as a unique lifestyle property with many possibilities for laid-back living. You could be hosting retreats or courses, Airbnb, weddings, photography. It's one of those properties that really does lend itself. It's one of these ones that when you become, as a real estate salesperson, you get a property like this, you actually don't want to sell it because it's so much fun marketing it. But we are here to sell it for our vendors today, folks. You've got the native and exotic plantings. Well, that means constantly changing scene of colour, bird life, sheltered space as well. They simply invite reading or picnic time out, as does that featured pergola in the property as well. So it really is one out of the box here. Old Waitakere Road there in the Waikino location. In your hands, buyers. Who says go for this one? And what might your junction be? Looking for cash interest. Our vendors are certainly keen to see a sale on the property. First call now for an opening bid. Second time. Last chance in or out. Okay, no cash for this one today, Steve, so I'm going to close the auction, mate. How much do we need for this?
This one will be only $1,050,000.
Wow. $1,050,000. Yeah, wow. 3,143 square metres of absolute pure bliss and paradise. $1,050,000 is all you need, folks. If you know anybody looking for something like that, you better get on the blower and talk to them now, because they need to contact Steve Cameron in our Waihi office, and I think you'll find that that property will be under contract very soon indeed. I'll be back to you folks to finish off the Tay Street property, but in the meantime, I'm about to hand over to Jordan Sidbright to offer you the next few properties.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do appreciate you being here. My name is Jordan Sidbright, stepping up on the stage here, taking over from our option manager, Grant Child, and we will continue in a friendly and financial manner. Here, 63 Orange Lane, Barbara, David and Ross. Well, you see them over here, the A-team, as they're also known, guys. Well, a home that ticks pretty well every box. From the brick cladding to the private location, the proximity to Bethlehem College and Town Centre, to the abundance of parking and space. It's all here at 63 Orange Lane in Bethlehem. Legally described as a freehold estate, being 673 square metres more or less. Record of title is SA 72A, folio 977. Now the settlement date, well, that's down for 20 working days from the date of sale, or other date as mutually agreed upon, so a little bit of flexibility up the sleeve there. The chattels list, well, you see it on the screen there, a couple of excluded chattels to make note of: the outside mirror on the fence and the outdoor pots. Further terms of sale, 23.0 clause 9.35 of the general terms is varied in the extent that the vendor does not have the code compliance certificate for the work carried out in renovating the shower and the main bathroom. But of course, if you're here to buy, folks, you would have seen this documentation that would have been provided to you. You've done your due diligence, and you get big smiles and grins on your faces, ready to put your hand in the air when we call for an opening bid. Step inside and discover a smart floor plan that offers versatility with 3 family bedrooms and an office or bedroom if you so wish. Beyond the entrance foyer, spacious open plan living welcomes one and all. Beautifully refurbished and fastidiously maintained by the current owners, how easy would weeknight dinner preparation and cooking be in a kitchen like this? A solid and spacious home, near excellent schooling, local amenities, etc. Be it the perfect family home or perhaps just the next step for you and your significant other. The options are plenty here at 63 Orange Lane. In your hands now, buyers. Call for an opening bid now. Start us away if you will. Fantastic Bethlehem buying, I would think. Cash buyers, that's what we deal with here. I'll call it first time around the room then. Second opportunity. Third time now, buyers. If you're here to buy, let it be known. Okay, look, doesn't look like we've got the cash on this one, but I know you've been dealing with some conditional parties who will be very excited to hear this is still available for them, and we look forward to seeing a solid sticker up there soon. All the very best. Moving forward then, buyers for Burnt Oak Drive. Jason Highhill's over here. Well, he's been marketing this property, and what a pleasure I'm sure it's been. A fantastic property. Really, really decent home this. And in a fantastic location. It's a solid build, and well, just quite an attractive option if you're looking in the area there. A fantastic family home with space and convenience at every turn. Plus, Wait till I tell you about the garaging. We'll get to that shortly. Legally described, it's a freehold estate being 753 square metres more or less. Unique identifier is SA53B folio 266 of the South Auckland Land Registry. Now the chattel list you'll see on the screen, again just the excluded chattel to make note of there, the hallway mirror, that won't be there, but the rest of the chattels you see, they'll greet you on settlement day. And speaking of settlement, well, that's down as 20 working days. A little bit of flexibility up the sleeve still there, Jason? Yep. Absolutely. So happy to work with you there if need be. Now, with two open plan living areas connecting to a north-facing terrace, this lovely home features a contemporary kitchen and walk-in pantry, plus lots of cabinetry and modern appliances to go with. So you can rest happy knowing that you're in a modern and up-to-date kitchen. The master bedroom, well, that's got an ensuite walk-in wardrobe and a side deck, while a family bathroom serves 3 more bedrooms and home office. Good storage, garden shed, separate laundry and ample caravan and boat parking. And as I touched on earlier, a colossal 58 square metre approximate size double garage there. So you could pretty much fit it all in the garage, I would imagine. Situated on a flat and fenced site, so the kids and pets, well, you can rest assured they'll be safe all day long. Close to all the shops and main commuter routes there, in zone for top schools, and just a short drive to the Tauranga crossing. What more could you ask for, buyers? All I'm asking for now is an opening bid. Start us away, if you will, on this one here. Look for anything on the northern side of $1 million, surely some property of this calibre. Start us away, if you will, then, buyers. As Grant's touched on, we're here to deal with the cash interest, the conditional, that's lining up outside. Call it then first time, second opportunity. Third time now I call for it. Well, I've got the cash on this one, Jason, but as we say, that conditional interest, I'm sure they are waiting just outside to have a chat with you. If you've got interest, go and see Jason. We don't get too happy to help. Auction closed. Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue on, as I know that you've got to get out and enjoy the rest of this Tuesday afternoon has to offer, but not before we have some selling of some wonderful properties here. Of course, a warm welcome to the viewers on the live stream watching along. Do appreciate you tuning in. Of course, many of the properties here that haven't managed to go sold on the auction floor. If you're interested, get in touch with the agent and they'll be more than happy to help you out. But of course, cash buyers in the room, it's you I talk to now. For 6'47", Marine Bray, Jan Booth, out of our Mount Maunganui office, she's been marketing this one here, and it's an exceptional opportunity to secure a slice of Marine Parade magic and embrace a free and easy coastal lifestyle. In minutes, you can be enjoying all that one of New Zealand's best beaches has to offer, whether it's a daily swim or surf, long beach walks, a walk up Maui, coffee in the nearby cafes, or simply just a casual stroll into town for dinner. Well, it's all on offer. Legally described as a stratum estate and freehold, and all the principal units 6 on deposited plan 333798, being all the units comprised and described in the record of title 138499 of that South Auckland Land Registry. Now you'll see here the settlement date is down for the 15th of December 2022, or other such date as mutually agreed upon, so not long to wait if you are making a play for the keys today, folks. And we'll just draw our attention there to the further terms, to the clause 10.2.7, and just note that the vendor solicitor has elected to cross that one out. Of course, due diligence advised in all situations, and the chattels list is up there for you to peruse. Now, there's two things that spring to mind when talking about beach living: sea views and catching rays. I don't mean the stingrays, I mean catching the beautiful sunny weather that we have here in the beautiful Bay of Plenty, both of which, well, they're on offer here from both sides of your deck. Recently refurbished and repainted throughout, the light and bright top floor with open plan modern kitchen and living. It's enhanced by 2 decks, as I mentioned, and an open outlook that creates a welcoming social atmosphere, perfect for entertaining family and friends all year round. The double garage, well, that's captured. The double garage is carpeted rather and has good storage. It's a compact ensuite as well, which is great when you're returning from the beach and your feet are all covered in sand problem solved there. Extra parking space in the front of the garage if you need it. It's a real bonus, I can assure you. But you of course know, if you're looking at a property of this calibre, the benefits that you see in it. So guys, I call for a start now. 6 part 47 Marine Parade. Who wants to kick us off? Looking for an opening offer. Call around the room, cash buyers, you know the deal. First time now I call it, second opportunity. Third time on a fantastic property there, Marine Parade. Wonderful buying, I'm sure. We just need to see a hand. I know there's some good conditional interest, so it looks like I don't have the cash on this one, Jan, but I know there's definitely some people who might be giving you a call very shortly. I have your phone on. Auction closed on this one, all the very best. I'm sure it won't be long. Moving forward, folks, 3 McMillan Street, Grace Anderson. Well, she's been marketing this property there up in Waitakere, and it's located close to the town centre, newly renovated, and it's awaiting its new owners. Could that be you? Legally described as a freehold estate, 480 square metres, more or less. Record of title is down as SA 55C, folio 586. Settlement date will get set at the 16th of December 2022, or other such date as mutually agreed upon, so you could be having Christmas in your new home here at McMillan Street. Channels list, just a short list to look at there, folks, but all included in the price you pay today, renovated from top to bottom. The kitchen is certainly not lacking in storage and bench space. Functional and bright, it's a great place to spend the evenings, cooking up a storm, or just chewing the fat over a glass of Pinot too. With a newly built north-facing deck, you're ready for summer with friends and family. The entire home is recently painted both interior and out as well. And with a flat section and easy care grounds, well, it's a relatively blank canvas for any green-fingered buyers. Close to town and the A&P showgrounds, a fantastic offering here at 3 McMillan Street. Look for a start then, buyers. Start us away if you will. Call for it now, 3 McMillan Street, just up the road. Silence, everyone gets a little bit scared on auction day, but I promise you, here to help you. Call it first time then around the room, second opportunity. Third time now then, folks. Okay, look, we won't dilly-dally then. Auction closed on this one. I know you've got some phone calls to make, and wish you all the very best of that. I'm sure it won't be long. Thanks, Grace. Well, a very popular property, this one. 60 Stevens Place, positioned perfectly for privacy and elevated to enjoy the huge views of the estuary across to the Kaimais, plus great outdoor living to enjoy those evening sunsets. Naomi Grace, she's been marketing this one, which is legally described in the documentation as a freehold estate, being 738 square metres, more or less. Unique identifier being SA 58C, folio 418 of the South Auckland Land Registry. The settlement date, well, that's set for 20 working days, or as otherwise mutually agreed upon, so good to have that flexibility, folks. And the chattels list, you'll see it on the screen there, no changes to those chattels there, all as is, she says, and that's fantastic news for you. As you've done your due diligence, you're ready to buy. Featuring a spacious open plan living that opens onto a private backyard, it's partially closed in, giving protection from the westerly wind, yet able to enjoy the gorgeous views on offer. Built with space in mind, the open plan living areas along with the bedrooms, they're light and they're bright and they're spacious, and they're sure to appeal to almost every buyer. The extra large garage has good storage, plus there's parking for the motorhome or the boat. What more could you ask for? Here at 60 Stevens Place, Tauranga, and we look for an opening offer then. Call it around the room then, folks. First time I call it then. Start me anywhere in the 8s perhaps. I'm sure my vendors would like it at the upper end, but I'm happy to work with you here. That's my job. Work with the cash interest. Second opportunity, folks. Third time. Okay, well, if your intentions are to buy, you'll need to go and see Naomi now. We're going to close the auction and we'll deal with that conditional interest. Wish you all the best with that one. A wonderful property, and I'm sure it won't be very long. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, 137 Waitakere Road, Isaac Jacobs out of our Gate Park office, dressed sharp as always. Well, he's been marketing this wonderful property here. A solid brick and block home, generously proportioned across 2 stories. The garage and the extra flat concrete space are great for completing those weekend projects, or if you're like me, starting the weekend projects. I'll finish them another time, I promise. Or at least that's what I promised the better half. Legally described, firstly as an estate in fee simple as to an undivided half share in 1,320 square metres more or less, and secondly an estate and leasehold, both of which the first and second estates are comprised and described in the record of title being SA 45B folio 935, not that South Auckland registry. Now, settlement date, let's see for 20 working days there, Isaac, a little bit of flexibility if they need it. Perfect, good to know. And the chattels list up there, no changes to those chattels. No changes there. As documented there. Further terms of sale, just a 23.0 an early release of deposit as per the instructions from the vendor's solicitor. Right, all of the bedrooms, well, they're spacious, and the downstairs bedroom could be great for that ever-independent teenager, the ranch slider and heat pump, of course. Perhaps it's a good spare room once the kids leave home for uni. Nevertheless, with 3 bedrooms total, everybody wins, no matter which bedroom you end up with. The open plan dining and living area is complemented by the elevation of the home and the surrounding contour of the land. So you have great green urban views from the deck. It's a great place for an evening brew. Close to the Brookfield New World and the rest of the Brookfield shops, move-in ready with room to add value, which is always nice. It's a great property all round, and it could be yours, folks. This is the opportunity to tell me if you'd like to walk away with the keys. Then call for the opening offer. You've seen how it works, folks. This is the opportunity to put the hand up. Let us know your intentions to buy 137 Waitakere Road. Okay, well, we won't muck around. First time I call it around the room. Second opportunity. Genuine conditional interest on this one, I believe. So we'll call it third time then. Okay, looks like we're dealing with those conditional buyers. We'll close the auction, hand it over to you. I know you've got some people kicking around who are pretty keen to hear from you. So we'll let you get to it and close that one. Thanks very much.